to discuss this is Dikbo Oyewale, strategy consultant and public affairs analyst. It's nice to have you, Dikbo.
Good morning.
Now, behind the cameras, we were talking about the issue of the cell phone,
yes.
a smartphone that an average Nigerian has access to.
Yes.
A lot of them know how to manipulate when it comes to WhatsApp messages and Facebook and all of that, Instagram,
yes.
People posting pictures and snapping selfies.
Yes.
But there's so much more to do. In fact, someone has called a smartphone an engine
yes.
that you can use for any kind of thing at all. But how much of that do the youth today know about?
Unfortunately, a lot of people don't get to maximize their phones. I mean, like you said, we use it to call, to text, WhatsApp, and the other platforms we know we use them on. But a lot of people don't know that, I mean, like you rightly said, you could do voiceovers on it, you could mix on it, you could do graphic designs on it, you could do all sorts on it and make money from those things without leaving the comfort of your bedroom. This is 2020, that's what people do right now, okay? I mean, the lady that was interviewed talked about web design.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people are into these days. You don't need to have your own office, you don't need to go rent a space, you don't need to, it saves costs, okay? There's a virtual office everywhere you go these days. People aren't really maximizing it. And today we're talking about unemployment. So it's not really about you going to get a job necessarily, but understanding that you have the tools already to earn a living and to also create jobs.
Right.
So I think people need to look inward to see how, I mean, just pick up your phone and see what you can navigate with it. Go online. Google the model of your phone, what you can do with it, the apps you can install on it, and what they can do.
That is key. Go Google the model of your phone
yes.
and see what you can use it
what
for.
What apps are compatible with it and do what you can do with it. I mean, I have a lot of apps on my phone that I get to use on a daily basis. I put out some content on social media. You think I'm a professional graphics designer. I'm so amateur. I'm so amateur in that area. But I have an app on my phone that I used to do that.
All right. A lot of people will talk about the societal challenges, economic challenges and all of that. How does that impact really on the productivity from that window?
Okay, well, so the challenges are there, but people say where there's a will, there's a way. Okay. Interestingly, the telecoms organizations have been able to crash prices of data and all of that, encouraging people to get to use more of the internet these days, as opposed to what we had 10 years ago when it just came online. But that being said, I think that a lot of people aren't exploring enough, and they aren't curious enough to see the potentials that their devices really do hold and what they can do with it to maximize those devices.
Wow. How? Dikbo Oyewale, thank you. This discussion is going to continue because there's so much to learn from this, because you just mentioned something key there, that you can Google your phone type and get to know what that phone can do, as well as apps that one can use. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Joining us now to discuss this is Dikbo Oyewale, strategy consultant and public affairs analyst. Dikbo, good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see you.
Good to be here.
Great. I wonder how much of unemployment can reduce with youths taking advantage of technology, from phones to computers and different kind of machines.
Quite a lot, actually, because now we have the internet and it's quite accessible to all. And I mean, if you go on YouTube, there are do-it-yourself videos that you see on there. A lot of people today are makeup artists, and they're self-taught from YouTube. Excuse me. A lot of them also do some other things. A lot of people bake cupcakes, do some other things. They're designers, all from what they learned on YouTube. They didn't need to go learn or sit under someone for 6 months to a year to get it done.
And all that is free.
And all that is free.
All you need to buy is data.
All you need to buy is data. And I mean,
while
you're watching it and you're getting it,
and doing it practically, you have access to Wi-Fi.
Yes.
And all of that.
Yes, there are virtual offices everywhere these days, and you have access to these things. So I think a lot of people aren't just curious enough. That's where the challenge is. If you're curious enough and you really want to know what to do next with your area of interest, go online and get it done. There are free online courses today. If you need requisite skills or the knowledge to get a certain job, there are free online courses today that you can log on, get them done, you get certified for it, and then you get the opportunities open to you.
About a decade or two ago, there was this issue of you go buy software and then there's a desktop and then you have to sit down somewhere and work. It seems everything is narrowing into a phone now. A smartphone has the days of Cakewalk and Fruity Loops, music app industry have all been melted into a phone now, where you can use a phone as a studio.
Your phone is your mobile studio. I mean, you wax an entire album. You can wax an entire album
with all instruments and all effects.
Everything. You can do your voice recording, put your instruments on them, mix it up, release your EP in one afternoon, and who knows, you may get to have 100,000 hits. You may go viral on YouTube. But I think a lot of people aren't just maximizing these tools we have at our disposal.
What is that thing that is still hiding that knowledge from youth these days? A lot of young people picking up the phone, sending a text is like they just do, and they've done something, but they're still not having access to how to maximize the phone, for instance.
Yeah, I think it still goes back to what I said. They're not curious enough. Okay. Because if you are curious enough, you look and say, okay, you know what? I think I bought this phone for 100,000, for 200,000. Aside from calling and texting and being on social media, what value can this phone add to me? Because I spent a lot of money to get it. So I think a lot of people aren't curious enough to see, because I mean, you don't even need to download a lot of apps. Just surf your phone in itself. You'd find out that even your camera functions, you're not even maximizing to start with. Okay, let alone talking about you downloading fresh apps on it. So I think we're not curious enough to see how we can maximize all these tools at our disposal.
All right, that's really interesting to know. So many apps there you can use to do different things, but as Dipo has said, just Google. You have a plethora of how to use your phone and maximize it. Thank you very much, Dipo Iwole, for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
All right, joining us now to discuss this is Dipo Iwole, strategy consultant and public affairs analyst. Dipo, good morning.
Good morning.
Now, the youth have a lot of arsenal of what they can use to transform their lives and also translate their innovation or what they're thinking into life. But from the reports we hear there, or we heard there, a lot of them don't know how to go about what and how to utilize what and all of that. How do we get the youth into that space of understanding that there are apps or there are softwares or there are different things that can be used, you know, to make them or make themselves gainfully employed?
Okay, well, interestingly, we're in an information age, and also, unfortunately, a lot of people aren't seeking out the relevant information they need to that will add value to their lives and enable them to grow in areas where they need to grow. So I think the onus is on the youth for them to seek out knowledge that would help them get to where they need to get to, because the main problem isn't about the information not being available. It is also not about it not being accessible. It is available, it is accessible. It is just that a lot of people aren't going out there to seek that information. So that is where the problem is. We need to let a lot of people know that the information is out there. It is easily accessible. You need to go get it. And, I mean, take responsibility for your life. That's just really what it is.
All right. Now, when it comes to tools, equipment, a lot of people would say it's quite expensive when you mention equipment on one hand and all of that. But when you talk about tools, it seems they are a little either cheaper or more accessible on the other hand. Now, what range of areas would you advise youth to take advantage of in the youth of today, for instance, in a place like Nigeria?
Well, we have YouTube, okay? Everybody has access. I'm sure almost everybody has access to the internet, okay? We have do-it-yourself videos on YouTube. We have free online courses. Go have a LinkedIn account. Have certain accounts you follow, have certain filters you want on there. You get access to this information, and then you can sign on with these online courses, okay, to help develop your skill. If you're looking for a job, there are certain things you need to know about before you can be gainfully employed in certain organizations. There are free online courses that will help you get certified in those areas for you to gain employment. And if, for example, you also want to acquire a skill, probably want to be a good photographer, you want to be a makeup artist, you want to be a fashion designer, go on YouTube. You have access to thousands, if not millions, of videos that will tell you how to go about these things.
Are you looking to a possibility in the future where, because of the DIYs or the do-it-yourself kind of videos on YouTube, young people may not be going to school the way we we see where one has to graduate from one level to the other, and then you compulsorily have a degree here or an HND and stuff. Do you foresee that kind of a future?
Yes, it will eventually happen, interestingly. And so there was a jobs report a few years ago that said that the jobs that will be relevant in the next 20 years to come will be won't be the college jobs that would be the college degrees that we're going for today. Okay, they won't be the ones who will be the most paid people in the employment space. Okay, it will be people who have relevant skills to exchange in value for money. So, and if the internet with the YouTube DIYs, like you said it, if they can provide those skills, I mean, that's where the main avenue is.
All right, we have to leave it here now. Dikbo Ewale, thank you so much for the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.